what I have learned from her in that episode and in our relationship since then is that there's this magical moment in the first 90 days that you hire somebody, that how you treat them and get them into your business in those first 90 days is going to set the tone for their entire employment within your business. Exactly. And if you want people to be not only doing their job, but able to make their own decisions, able to understand how you operate and be able to take initiative and take ownership of things that they weren't even asked to do. And she calls it being an intrapreneur. When you have an employee that's acting like the entrepreneur, you basically want a bunch of intrapreneurs in your business. And the key to doing that is to have this solid onboarding process where you take them on this journey of making sure that they're clear on what their duties and responsibilities are, making sure they're clear on who they directly report to, making sure they're clear on how to submit their timesheet if it's required, where they should send questions about payroll, what are the systems they're using. There's so much that's involved in properly onboarding somebody, where so many companies, they hire somebody and then they're like, okay, go figure it out. Your coworkers are sitting around you, or they're even remote on Zoom. Here, you just ask somebody if you have questions. Go do your job, and they don't even know what their job is. So, there's a stark contrast between those two. My question to you, and this whole really long lead up to it, is what you're doing on the onboarding side, is it meant to facilitate that level of, going through that initial onboarding process and make it as many steps as required, that you make sure that everybody is being treated with the same uniform onboarding experience so that steps aren't missed, people aren't forgotten, and and those things are happening no matter how many people you have coming on around the same time?
So Moshe, I love this preamble. The highest level of this is that you can only onboard someone once, right? It's an experience that they're never going to forget. You are the jaded entrepreneur. You know every nook and cranny of this business. And sometimes it's not in writing. And what we're really aiming to do here is give you fundamentally like canvas with some boundaries so you know what to fill in. Hey, oh my God, I forgot that actually you need to fill out this form. We'll give you that guidance where we aim to go. So our first version of this is fairly standard at the state level, just giving you a high level framework for how to think about onboarding. It's deeply customizable. And where we aim to take it, much like everything that we do at WiseHire, is make it deeply, deeply personalized by the industry, by the job title. And so what you'll see us working on, again, I think of this as the next decade of work that we have ahead of us, is to learn the business and learn the trade and this job and give you those best practices. So that if it's, let's say, 2025 and you're just getting started with your new law firm and you're about to hire your first paralegal, we'll give you that amazing paralegal onboarding that's ready for you on day one, going beyond, again, just the basics of, hey, I got to fill out a W-4, I got to do a I-9 verification. We'll take you to what does day 2 look like? What does day 3 look like? We're starting just with day 1, which is very much focused on HR, but the vision and the aspiration here is to give you, again, spoon feed you that advice, because again, we work with this massive community, we get all these learnings, and we owe it to entrepreneurs to pay it forward. And I think what a great way to do it with a product that already helped you find great talent and now, again, retain and set them up for success.
Yeah, I love that. And it's very interesting because, you were first solving a problem of getting people on. Now you're solving the problem of fixing retention, right? That really getting people into the position, not just finding them, but actually hiring them and getting them their footing is key to them having longevity in the firm, which is the next problem when you hire somebody, right? What's the next problem? Turnover. Okay, I hired somebody, and then what happened? 3 weeks later, they left. If they had a really good experience in those first 3 weeks, they might not have said yes to the next person that their resume was sitting on, and they finally got a job offer that might have, been a little bit better than what you offered them. And I think, is that what's happening? What precipitated you deciding to go in this direction? What were your customers saying that you're okay, this is the thing that's going to be really valuable to them?
So there are really two stories here. One was this, which was, hey, I don't know what to do next. I've never done this, because so many of our customers, so many of the people you and I both work with, it's their first time. They've worked in a corporate setting, but when they think about, wait a second, how did my HR onboarding 10 years ago work? That's when they get frozen up. That's when they start Googling and get bad answers. It was this, which is deliver a great onboarding experience. The second thing, Moshe, is that onboarding is so connected to, the full life cycle of an employee. It starts to take you into the HR, the back office, those systems. And when we talk to entrepreneurs, the other thing we found was that, benefits were a big challenge. This is why we think bundling benefits as part of an optional offering here makes a lot of sense. In some sense, if you think about recruiting and retaining and finding great talent, benefits is becoming one of the biggest differentiators. Small businesses, we still struggle so much to give a thoughtful package in this case. The world is changing around us. Yes, there's like marketplace plans. But again, if you're a first-time entrepreneur, that's just one more thing that, is on your plate. You're again trying to win customers, do the marketing. And now in order to get great candidates, you got to go figure out insurance. We want to ideally take some of that busy work off your plate. And, we have this case study, and I think this will be published by the time someone's listening to this. But just recently, I believe we helped a law firm actually save something on the order of $70,000 in terms of their benefits costs. There were about 23 people in the firm. They already had a plan, and we were able to work with them and actually get them better savings. So back to this full journey, right? How can we give every person that's listening, every person that works with you in the future, the ability to say like they're the best place to work, basically, and can compete with those Fortune 500s from, again, recruiting to onboarding to retention, all through that employee life cycle. It's a lot of work, man. We're just getting started though.